During the war, of course, nearly all the ladies had to work, whether they wanted to or not. And my mum used to work on the buses. She was what they called a clippy. And we used to come out of school, and sometimes we couldn't go into next door neighbours, so we used to go out onto the Basingstoke Road. My mum used to come along on the bus. Us two boys, my brother and me, used to put us up on the top, right at the very, very front seat. So no, out of everybody's way. We never paid any fare, of course. So she could watch us, and we used to go backwards and forwards, right the way through Reading, sometimes from Whitley Wood, right the way up to Emma Green and back again. Called Chalgrove Way it was in those days. It's called Chalgrove Way. That's what they put on the buses, and that was to deceive anyone. They didn't put on the buses exactly where they were going if they could avoid it. See? Anyway, you used to go back. Then sometimes we had to go into Reading. We might go on a different route. But so she could keep an eye on us till my dad came home at night. Then she used to put us off the bus, and then we'd get off and go home. And that used to happen. And one day, this was during the war, my mum, of course, there were no lights, not even in the very middle of Reading. Now, in the very middle of Reading, in Broad Street, do you remember where Woolworths used to be? Where that Scandinavian, that's right, the Scandinavian company. Right in the middle there was a great big tank. It must have been, for my memory serves me well, I would say it must have been about 20, 25 foot long, at least about 10 or 12 feet wide, and at least about 6 or 7 foot high, and it's black, painted black, in the very middle of the road. And they had, if I remember right, they had one there, and one down nearer where Marks and Spencer's is. They had two. Well, they were on the bus one night, one evening, black, must have been in the winter, I expect, because otherwise it might have been a bit lighter. And they crashed into this tank, the bus. The driver ended up in a very, very bad state. My mum got thrown from the back of the bus, because the clippy, the conductor, was on the back, at the bottom of the stairs. She got thrown right the way up the bus, all her money went everywhere. And I remember, vaguely in my mind, I seem to remember that when they picked all her money up and put it back into her, she used to have a little pouch on the front, a little leather one, and they added it all up at night, it was short. And she had to make that up herself. That was deducted from her wages. That's how it was done in those days. But we had more bus rides than anybody, apart from the driver. Yeah, I can remember the struggles that some of the drivers used to have with those buses. Because, you see, you had to double declutch with them, no automatic gears, no power brakes, and somebody taking a photograph of me. And so they used to get round the corners with those buses, they used to get hold of the steering wheel like this and pulling it with two hands like this, get it round. And some of them, when they used to go up like St. Peter's Hill, they had no idea how to change down gear, and you used to hear a tune, and most of them had to come to a standstill, then get into bottom gear, and then go up the hill, because they couldn't change down gear. Some of them were quite good. You push the old clutch in, bring them in neutral, let the clutch out quick, give it a quick hard rev, push it back in, and then into the next gear and up. I've double clutched a lot, so I know how to do it. I got quite skilled at it. But some of them are hopeless, those bus drivers. Of course, the trouble is, hardly anybody before the war could drive. Only if you worked for a company that had a little van or a lorry, and they taught you how to drive. You didn't need a driving licence. Well, you did, but you didn't have a driving test. But you got a driving licence. So a lot of them had never been in a test or anything. And, if they thought you could get a bus going along, that was good enough for them.